Hello everyone, welcome here for another day of the PIEA action where we are headed over to Div 1 for some Marvel Rivals. I know you're excited, I am as well. Let's hope the games deliver. My name is Orbital, with me is Ari, and we will be your casters for the upcoming matchups. Ari, how you doing today?
Doing great. Excited to get some Marvel Rivals. Little funny behind the scenes tidbit. Actually, I was the only one on this broadcast, so thank you, Orbital, for coming in, stepping in. I don't know how last minute it was, but thanks for joining me up here so we can yap together and watch these games. This matchup, Gateway versus Albert Gallatin. 0-1 versus 0-2 in terms of their current standings. But since this is Division 1, we can expect it to be a little bit higher quality game. And maybe they've just gone up against maybe some tougher opponents or closer matchups. I'm expecting this one to hopefully go the distance and be close. Because even though maybe they're not the top of the leaderboard, this matchup individually can be really, really good for entertainment.
Yeah, and I mean, making sure that you're also getting a dub here and there, getting those wins on the board is very, very important for seeding purposes, and being able to not be at the bottom of the standings is very important as well. We are heading into Royal Palace to start things off. Remember, these are BO3s. We'll see what exactly they do have on the table. Obviously, some of the newer heroes that have been announced aren't available. Can't wait for those ones to come out. But we got the regulars here. Looks like we got a little bit of a blade action, maybe just a hover for fun. Main thing is about the bands. What are we going to get for the bands as well as that coverage? Maybe a focus on the duelist, maybe a focus on the vanguard or the strategist.
I just love the fact that we have 3 Black Widow hovers for absolutely no reason. Not going to be playing 3 Black Widows, just not possible. But I do love the Elsa Bloodstone ban. That can be a very problematic duelist in the mix of things. And if you don't have somebody who can maybe play that character, it's good to have it also out of the picture because you don't want to have to deal with one flanking you, running it down front line. Really, such a versatile character.
Yep, very, very comfortable in there. Good bans come out, though. Visible Woman, save the Jeff, and let's see what else is saved. It's going to be the Doctor Strange. You can kind of understand that one. Gateway probably going to be using the Eye of Agamotto quite often. If not, it's a whole different story. Next bands to come on out. Let's see what the next is. So far, I think you focus primarily on close and mid-range, and maybe want to focus a little bit more on... Okay, still on the duelist side. Going with that Storm ban. I haven't seen a Storm in ages.
That feels like a target ban, right? It has to be. I just think that Storm did have an era where they were doing really, really good with the Thor team up, things like that. But I think we've seen Thor kind of die down with the Thing coming out a while ago. And so it makes sense that Storm would fall off because of it. Some players might still have been comfortable there, so hence the ban. And then flipping on over, you have that Cloak and Dagger ban. It's one of those characters that can constantly produce consistent output. Makes sense to get the ban going there. But that's double support bans, by the way, from Albert Gallatin.
Yep, I actually really appreciate this. Again, I think strategists have some of the most important roles, and these are very utility-based ones as well. You have the straight healer that you saved, but the double ban against the Cloak and Dagger plus the Invisible Woman, these are very targeted towards utility, towards, laying the battlefield, prepping it for yourselves, and you're almost hardlining Gateway into a much more straight-line, narrow focus. I like this call with the Loki, though. You saw the double strategist ban out. You said we still need to keep a strategist for ourselves. You go with the Loki, which is a little bit more kind of all over the place, but I do appreciate it can encompass multiple different roles. So see if it works. There's a gambit at the very end, though, and it's a toss back of the strategist era into Albert Gallatin's face.
Yeah, I think the Loki save here is just kind of one of those, oh, you've banned 2 strategists. Well, let's make sure we have at least one that we're comfortable playing and can work with in the end. That'll be Hawkeye to kind of end things off. And I think actually the last matchup I saw personally with Marvel Rivals here at the PIEA, Hawkeye was feasting. It was absolute free range. We had one player just playing mystery heroes when it came to hit scans. They were on Hawkeye, then Hela, then Elsa Bloodstone, even though that was just the character that came out. So really fun stuff to see the duality of these players and the hero pool that they have, and it's going to be tested here in this first map, especially when it comes to those strategists.
Yep, play it smart, play it right. Let's see if you can make some magic happen with the heroes that you have selected. So far on Albert Gallatin's side for this domination map, we got a Magic, we got a Hello, we got a little bit of a Luna Snow, which, as we talked about, is very much focused on just straight up healing, keeping everyone alive. You got the Doctor Strange and the Magneto combo, a combination that is as old as time itself on the other side for Gateway. A little bit more on hit, and we saw the Moon Knight for a moment, but Namor will do just as well. But the Punisher plus a Freya to round things out, a little bit more bloodthirsty in that range. I feel like this is gonna be fun.
My key player of the game to look at right now is PIEA. I don't really have too much backing behind this, but I do remember their name from last season, and I don't remember quite why, but I can tell you that they were a very solid player and somebody to watch, so I think that's going to continue through on in this next semester, this next season of Marvel Rivals gameplay.
Well, let's hope that it goes and works for them. Albert Gallatin and Gateway on to map number 1. For this side, the Palace awaits its king. And already we're seeing that sideline action. Palace being one of the weirder ones, at least in the territorial battle. One low ground, one high ground. There are so many different choke points that can get you in so much trouble. And Gateway are showing it off right now. Rice Crisis forcing a food shortage for Albert Gallatin to try and eat. And they are not eating well here. Cornered and put back into spawn. Gateway will get touch 1.
I feel like Doctor Strange can be a very hit or miss character. Obviously, yes, you can play the tempo, kind of just hang around, let that shield recharge as you do, but if you let that Strange get 100 charge and they are consistently in that front line not being burned on that shield, you're going to be feeling a lot of pain, especially when a dive character comes through or a Luna Snow shift. But what has happened here? Angela flying on in and absolutely taking these people out.
It was a double stun, I believe, from Fizzy that actually caught both tanks unawares, and it leaves the entire backline in melees completely lost. Well done, and now you stagger some of those deaths. As we get a little bit of a swap out, Cool Asian and Tweak swapping out, changing over to the Ultron and the Captain America. Now also swapping over to a different one, Cool Asian, double swap out. They're really trying to hold the line here if they can, but for Gallatin, they're going to have to break through in more ways than one. Let's see if they got it. Only one ult available for them. It is the Devour from the Jet, but Tweak is already gone. Fizzy locks that away, and there ain't no safety to play with. Already destruction as Gateway looks so dang good. Fizzy looking for the dive bomb. The rest of the team is there, and the real pop sends Yeet all the way back to spawn once more. There's a stun again, and Gallatin getting assaulted from every which way, unable to bear the weight of the damage.
I think we figured out what happened there with those first two environmentals when we saw it the second time through. Just the play of sitting in that corner up where they do not clear that angle, because of course, why would you? You're focused on the brunt of the team. Well, it punishes you down before, and now the rest of the team can step up and do the damage from themselves. I mean, this is 4, 5, 6 ultimates that are going to be online very, very shortly, and Gallatin still yet to really find that response to get onto this point. No real hard engage, and it's just going to be kind of that gamble by the Jeff to hopefully get one. Can't even get that. Will go down. OT activated, but the chances of winning this fight very, very slim, it feels.
Yeah, I mean, Gateway have done so well. None of them have even used an ultimate. You can only imagine that's going to be coming out in spades in the second round of this map 1. Of course, the Palace Chambers go their way. We're on to the Archive, where things can get a little bit more messy.
And you saw a Hela ult actually used right at the end there, that by Gallatin. They went for that last-ditch effort. It did not work, and now they're going to feel the burn in this next point. The snowball that Marvel Rivals has designed with those ults transferring on over between capture points. Well, Gateway are in full control with all 6 still. And now you start to wonder, okay, what's going to be the counter here? What's really getting you going? Is it an agent swap or a hero that you just want to see keep going a little bit better and that they're some sort of success? I mean, you're really just throwing things at the wall right now, hoping that one of them will stick, and validly so, as nothing really has quite yet.
Yeah, I think that for Gallatin, it's not bad to keep swapping around, but it's just that moment of, you know, we need to find those marks, and I do wonder how much of it is just Gateway hitting all their marks. Their squad, as we said, are still hunting for their first win, and this is a great way to kind of show it off. Say, guys, we got this. No big deal. For Gallatin, they need to find ways around these choke points. They tend to funnel very heavily and say, this is all we want to do. But they also need to keep track of Fizzy, who has been so relentless in the charges and constantly being in the front lines. They're doing it once again, but this time getting routed just a wee bit. Dove a little bit further ahead than they would like. Now regrouping with the rest of the team. Try and keep Gallatin very, very far back.
I feel like I've never seen an Angela really get as much value as we're seeing right now, but the cooldown bait out is actually really, really nice. You see the movement, they're just hanging around, they're not like going for hard engages all the time. It's more of a support when your initial Vanguard or somebody else wants to make a play, you're right there playing an off angle and capitalizing when somebody does overextend, where we see Tweak going down. One of those moments where maybe you want it back.
Right now, that Angela, Fizzy is looking for a roundabout way to do this. They're saying, okay, Gallatin are starting to fight back. We have 6 ultimates. Do we want to shut this down right away, or do we want to slow roll them all day long? It looks like it's going to happen, and the Real Pup actually tried to ult, but got knocked out of the ultimate just in time, so Dilbert was able to shut that one away. Really nice stop there, but it's only a 1-for-1. It's still Gateway timing that point up by Miles. Gallatin, what can they do? 2 ultimates available. Tweak and Spy have those available for themselves. A little bit of a Meteor might be available as well, but Yeet falls off the map. That's when your healer's gone. It feels so bad. 50% for Gateway.
Another engagement happening here, but Tweak feels kind of alone. Maybe a Jeff behind them, but Cool Asian Man has found one. somewhere, somehow, and that'll be your key into this potentially. But the Angela ult frying, slicing, and dicing. Everybody is in, but it's the Jeff to kind of scoop up two of those enemies. They're going to jump off the map and successfully get those picks, but here comes the Luna Snow ultimate, Fate of Both Worlds, and this should at least give them a decent amount of stabilization.
Sing the song, the concert goes on, and no one shall fall unless forcibly dragged from the venue. That's how that goes. Gateway still in control, 76%. 3 ults still available. Albert Gallatin have pretty much sent everything but the Loki transformation. Honestly, I don't see it going any other way. Of course, they did turn around. Albert Gallatin able to grab it at 76. Good stop. They need to defend against this first turnaround. Rai ready to go in the corner, looking for the Jet, but the Eye of Agamotto being swung, and it looks like it didn't really catch anyone there. I was curious what that eye was, but it's the high ground that we're looking for. Rai goes up with those tridents, will stab the back of Squeak. Catch Spy as well, and Cool Asian Man will fall too. Gateway cleanly take the point back and look to take this map.
And that's the beauty of having those two ultimates. They could have burned it trying to go for just a hold and a stagger to get as much value as you could from the last point, but they decide to concede the point, let Albert Gallatin take it, and then they come back stronger with all those ults. And of course, it's going to be working when you have an Eye of Agamotto that hits, as well as a Hela ultimate for extra good luck on top of it. The horn going to be used here, not going to find anything too much immediately, but that Luna Snow, well, this is a bit of a copy, if you will. You're going to need to get things going in your favor, and it just does not feel like it. One player to go, and, well, they won't be seeing the light of day much longer. It'll be Cool Asian Man that drops down over towards the side, and the first map goes the way of the Gateway.
I mean, that's as solid as you can get. Locked out of 2 of their signature strategists, and yet came back with a vengeance. Clear-cut identity, how they wanted to play, and for Gateway, it was all powerful. Fizzy, I think, rightfully deserved this MVP. We saw multiple instances of double stuns, keeping that front line very much engaged, barely lost. I think their lives, I think we only saw them fall like once on that end. Ridiculous work at the very end of the day.
I just wanted to look at these healing numbers real quick because I knew that some of these players were putting in the work. Yeah, I was going to say AG Colonials, it felt like they were always there kind of stabilizing their team whenever they could. And they do earn it for the SVP title there, but maybe just not enough that they could do maybe some other places and other gears in this machine that need to work together in tandem in order to get themselves on that winning column. But for right now, they've tried once. They have learned, and now you have a chance to go back into it during map 2 and say, okay, now we know what to be scared of, maybe what to ban, and that's me kind of foreshadowing that there will be an Angela ban, so get ready for that.
I mean, if there's an Angela ban, that's a huge one, if they're able to get away with that. At the same time, Rai was very powerful on that Hela as well. You have to give credit where credit is due. 17-2 and 0 with 9 final hits. Very much in control, same pacing as with Fizzy. And you almost have to wonder, they did this with two strategist bans. You gotta wonder what the next one will be. Now, going into map number 2, we do have a good idea of what that is going to be. I believe it's the pathway, of course, is the Great Tree. Big eyes are available on sighting. Is it going to be more defense or offense focused, right? Whenever it comes to domination, it's very push and pull. You're constantly offensive, constantly defensive. A big question is you can tailor the bans a little bit more depending if you're on offense or defense first. Do we see that tailoring come out, or do we see these same kind of unique focus fire bans like you were talking about, that Angela ban?
Yeah, I think it is going to be more focus fire, as much as, you know, you can argue one map is offense or defensive sided. At the end of the day, we are not pros. Any player is striving to maybe get there, but at the end of the day, we need to work on whatever it is we have. And so those hero pools aren't going to be as big, which means you're going to have characters that are a lot more comfortable for some players, and those are going to be the ones that are banned, in my opinion. You saw the Storm ban kind of come out, but I think that's going to go away. The Angela is going to come in. I think maybe we see a Moon Knight chosen or saved even here in this next map, because it feels like when struggles do occur, Moon Knight's just the way to go. So both teams might realize this, or maybe just one, and we can see how things shake up with that. But I was just also thinking, because of the Lokis in the mix, you have that option to go for Moon Knight as well.
That would be a fun one, especially with some of those kind of choke points that you could hold up at. but we'll see if they do decide to do so. At the same time, for Gateway, you are feeling super confident. We talked about some of the bans that were going to come out from the side of Albert Gallatin. My question for you now, what do Gateway actually get worried about? Because I feel like they were so dominant in Gateway, or so dominant in Royal Palace. Is there anything that they should be worried about heading into this game too?
I think for Gateway, if they're okay, it depends on which side they start on, right? Obviously, if you're on defense first, you're gonna want to make sure you're cycling your ultimates for each fight as opposed to having 6 for when you need them, right? Obviously, I think that was more of a domination strategy. I think they will adapt it going into this next map. With offense first, obviously the same kind of tip applies unless you really are struggling and need all 6 ultimates, but I think it's just about not overextending, right? You saw the Angela kind of having a free roam over towards domination because those maps are a little bit more open, but if you are flying in from the front line, there's going to be 5 people staring at you all from the same angle as opposed to everyone having their different fights. So I would say don't underestimate your opponents coming in here because they will find it a bit easier on this map than the previous.
Okay, I like it. Still show respect to the opponent and make sure that you are very aware of what is going to be going down, and be careful that they might try and surprise you. If we actually go to the Heart of Heaven, that would be a fun one as well, but I don't know if we're going to reach all the way to that third. Either way, we're still waiting for some of the teams to kind of load on in, so we appreciate your patience here on the day. Want to give a big shout out to the eSport Company for giving us this opportunity to showcase some of the PIEA. You and I have been here for quite some time, working alongside, showcasing a lot of PIEA from Division 1 all the way down to the rest, and it's been a fun time across Valorant, across Overwatch, across so many different titles. It's fun getting to see all these players still show up, semester to semester.
I mean, not only, right, the different variety of players that we have, but also the players that are around for multiple different games, right? These names you will recognize, I mean, most commonly with Overwatch and Marvel Rivals being both players in both teams, things like that, but even just schools that have multiple teams in a certain game, right? Whether it's academy, things like that. It's heartwarming to know that there is such a demand for these games and players wanting to learn these games that we can also just help them, have that platform to go and play competitively, right? Ranked can sometimes be a little bit of a gauntlet with the versatile personalities, we'll say, that approach and each and every one, but here we strive to have a positive environment where everybody can learn, strive together, and just have some fun and entertainment. It's video games.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a little bit of fun and a little bit of silliness, but also a lot of competitive spirit, and that's what we hope to see even more. We should be heading into game number 2 here very shortly. We're going to see who's on offense and who's on defense. I will say I always like when a team wins map 1 to go on the defensive side. You get a little bit more of that confident role in there. You know how much you actually have to hold on to the point. You got to say, hey, look, we got to keep you off on the background, and hey, if we hold you for 4 minutes, perfect. We get to have a very quick and easy attacking side, and we win from there. If they're able to pull it off, that's their own. But Gateway will be attacking first. It looks like here Albert Gallatin will be taking their time on the defensive end.
Speaking of the number 4, have you seen how many Black Widows we have this time, Hubbard? It's
Hey.
4, one more than last time, but there you go. Bucky Barnes gonna be banned out this time by Gateway, and honestly, that is one of those characters as well as Moon Knight that you will swap to if you are struggling. That Kraken Impact super valuable, and look at that, it's almost like I'm their coach, Albert Gallatin. They go out and they ban Angela right off the rip. Honestly, I think Gateway were expecting this too, and so they should have a plan in place. But of course, that traditional Jeff save coming out from Albert Gallatin as well feels pretty normal in what they've been doing so far. No real surprises just yet.
Yeah, it's more of the same. I like the save of the Daredevil, though. It is going to be a nice little treat. Maybe focus a little bit more on that attacking end, on the duelist end. Vanguard ban of the Penny Parker, though. We didn't see any Penny Parker last time, but maybe Gateway is saying the map terrain is very important to keep control of. We don't want to allow that Penny Parker to zone us off of that convoy at any point.
Yeah, the Halaban as well. They are literally just looking at that last team comp from last game and saying, okay, what pieces gave us the most trouble? It was the Angela, it was the Hela, and what's next? The Luna Snow, I think, to boot in the end there. Elsa Bloodstone save, by the way. Hello, we might have a hit scan battle in our place.
Well, I like it. It's always I want to say it's a little bit of a surprise whenever we see that type of save coming in here. So Albert Gallatin maybe saying, look, we got to make sure that we're a little bit safer, and we're going to play the long game. We're going to try and stagger a lot of your deaths in there. And they save the Gambit. Okay, Gateway saying we're gonna play with the deck of cards, whether we like it or not. It'll be stacked in ours or yours. Good save at the end. Focus very heavily on the dueling aspect, I think, and a bit of the Loki at the very end. But Gallatin will not be able to use that strategist.
Luna Snowban, Luna Snowban, Luna Snowban, Luna Snowban. Let's see it. I'm not gonna say anything else because surely it's that, right? I mean, unless they go for, I don't even know. Okay, Invisible Woman again. Same kind of vein. I think they were just saying your Luna Snow was good, but maybe your Invisible Woman's better. So we're gonna stick to what we know and at least have a decent idea of how exactly you're gonna play that backline tempo. But there you go. Agents starting to be selected. Heroes. I'm seeing an Iron Fist. What are your thoughts on this, Orbital?
What I see in this is Gateway trying to get those side angle flanks, and when you know that there's a hit scan on one side, I don't disagree with it, quite honestly. You're basically chasing down the Jeff, you're chasing down a lot of those. What is that crosshair, man?
That would be a steering wheel of a ship. That's what I got for
That
you.
is that is a crosshair of crosshairs if I've ever seen it.
Well, there's a reason they're on Black Panther. I'll put it that way.
Oh no, you can't do that to them.
No, not
okay.
not as a diss. I'm saying they don't need to really aim too hard on a character like Black Panther.
Yeah, sure. That's what you meant, Ari. That
is what I meant. Don't get me under fire here.
All right. Well, going on, we are at the start here. 7 seconds till we enter onto the battlefield. The convoy will be unleashed. Time will tell if the teams are able to make it happen. Full-on convoy. Let's get it pushing. Albert Gallatin gonna try their best to defend. And already Rice Crisis, as we said, chasing off Black Panther versus Iron Fist. Both going at it to a decent degree. Neither really getting that massive damage down because the healing is just exceptional here. There's enough to zone away the Magneto, who's not in a great spot. Tweak trying to run back for the hills, but he's getting zoned away too easily. Tweak is gone. Next is Cool Asian Man, and it's a run and a half so far.
I thought I was watching an Iron Fist, I can't lie, but instead it's a rogue. It's just two melee characters. Make that a third if you add in the Daredevil, and Venom is also pretty close range as well. This is a very dive-heavy comp and very contrasting to what they ran previously. This could be one of those, okay, let's have fun and let's see how far we can get with this comp, and if we struggle, we'll change it back up to what we know, but it seems to be working okay. It's just they have been halted by Albert Gallatin, and the range as is the weakness of the Gateway comp.
Really is. Dilbert with a great shot, though. Auto Mary is gone. A little bit of a dive as that crosshair. You're trying to swing in with one, but Ultron isn't really finding it. PIEA drops Dilbert this time around. The hit scan is gone, so Albert Gallatin loses their back line, which really enables Crisis to jump on in. But what a grab by this Jeff. Will Jeff be able to get away? You're trying to spit them away, and you do. You only catch one at the very end as Rice Crisis gets revenge. Either way, it's a fight off the point, though, so this payload is still sitting pretty. This convoy just now being pushed by Auto Mary.
That healing ability with that like spray of a volley is just so clean from Gambit. I haven't really seen it in action too much, but when you really get this character working and finally not banned in one of your games, it will prove to be a problem. So there needs to be some sort of way to address what happens coming through. Fizzy maybe just trying to farm up an ult or something, giving them a little bit of false hope, but here comes the final engagement potentially of this fight. Nope, never mind, nobody touched.
Nobody to touch, so it is a full clear going in. Gateway able to get through checkpoint one. Zoltan is able to get some revenge, but Rai immediately gets that heal up and the revive. Cool Asian Man using this pocket to cut out some of the competition. Now, but Gallatin finding some better marks than they did back in map number 1. This time around, this corridor fully choked off here. Gateway sitting on 4 ultimates of their own, but Spy drops Rice Crisis. So losing out one of your DPS is not the way to go.
Maybe a little bit of tech issues or some crash, something like that, but it's all good. We'll get the game coming up and resuming very, very shortly. But from what we've seen so far, I mean, Gateway, obviously, they won the first map. They have 4 ultimates here. They're kind of playing a bulky style is what the word I want to use here, where they have those ultimates batched up and they can choose to use them, or you can just go for a nice hard dive, or you can play a little bit of tempo and use those ults to just scale through space without even eliminating the other team because the other team is playing a tempo comp, it's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it really is, and getting that space for yourself will be a big point. We are taking a little bit of time though, and looks like we have the tech issue sorted out as Mary goes in, ready with an ult available for themselves. It's ready to reset, and it looks like they're going to call it out here. Dilbert trying to sit off on the side, but that's going to be the call from out of Warlock as Fizzy rips on through, though. Cool Asian Man gets a revive on one, but this is a storming way for Gateway to come right back in. Drops pretty much every single ult, but Cool Asian Man with almost all the revives, saving the team one by one. It is still Gateway to get that victory as a good attempt. Coming out on the back end by Cool Asian Man, but for Gallatin, yeah, made it tough. Forced an investment from Gateway.
It's tough that those two players that were omnommed by the Jeff ult, excuse me, and were launched into the back line, well, they still managed to live somehow. And so I think that might have drawn a bit too many resources to that additional fight in the back line, hence why Gateway were able to close that space and even win the team fight for themselves. Now it's a bit of a punish trickle coming through. 2 players down, 6 on the side of Gateway, 4 for Albert Gallatin. They're going to keep pushing this advantage until it is back to stable numbers.
I don't disagree with this one as well. The real pup just hanging out for a moment. Just saying, okay, what do we got here? Just waiting for the right moment to go. Suit could be on, given the right opportunity. Are you going to force it? The eye might not be ready either, but that is such a great choke. Rice Crisis takes advantage, but there's a shove right back out. What a Rhino's charge. Dilber gets some revenge on the back end, and that's 2. The Devourer gonna help out as well, but Daredevil drops on down to keep the payload moving, at least for a moment. And Gateway are denied their spawn. Mary goes down. Ryver gets the revive, but it's still Albert Gallatin with a great stop before checkpoint 2.
I just realized as well, this is a role swap. Rai was on the Hella, now on Rocket, and then Athea was on support earlier, now on tank. So you've got a whole bunch of stuff that's changing up for Gateway, and they're trying to make this the winning combo, but for right now, it has been halted yet again. You're going to need to have one more play to get you past this second to last checkpoint, shall we say, and Albert Gallatin are not going to let that up and let that happen too easily.
No, not at all. That singular push. Rice Crisis gets a nice knock on his Ultron, but Spy and Dilber are there to fight. Eye of Agamotto slams down onto 2, and it's enough to stun them out, but the rest of the DPS are still there. The real puck says no dice, baby. I will not be stunned, and I will not be stopped. Albert Gallatin fall to the wayside, and checkpoint 2 is taken.
I love that ult combo, by the way. Daredevil and Rocket, just the damage output so insane, and I'm going to be honest, unless you have that Fate of Both Worlds, Eternal Bond, something like that, and you are in that fight, you might not even still live because it is just so much pressure being applied.
You gotta be a little bit worried as well. This is going to be that final push. Ultron able to slow them down. 2 minutes on the clock. Fizzy with a great snipe. Rai with the revive once more. The teammates up and keeping this fight going. Albert Gallatin, for their own, have already lost a full member. Mary as well as Athea. Rice Crisis drop the Wombo combo though. It is a brutal all-out battle, and the chase is on and more. Empowered Iron Fist turns to steel, turns to adamantine, and forces the entirety of Albert Gallatin to their spawn. What a rush from Gateway.
Hate to look on to the next half, but I'm just thinking about, do they even stick with this melee comp the next time, or do they change it back up to their old ways? Either way, of course, we do need to get there, and Elsa Bloodstone here of Dilber still making a decent go of it. That damage, that pressure, it's a lot, and it even is resulting in that first elimination of the fight. That will get the space back, and Albert Gallatin pushing the payload backwards as they desire it.
Pretty solid play as well. Dilber on this Elsa has actually been very solid in at least finding a pick or 2, which is, there hasn't been an amazing amount of follow-up, I think is the best way to put it for Albert Gallatin. They haven't been able to follow up as cleanly on it as they would like. So instead, Gateway lose a member back away, quickly push them again. It's just their comfort levels at the end of the day. Here comes the fight though, as the Black Panther will slice as much as they can, but Rice Crisis still knocks away one of the strategists. Fizzy pops in the build form as well, and they will chase even further. But what a Devourer! I didn't even see this. Just spits them all into a corner and buys yet another 15 seconds. Wild play at the end now, but Gallatin trying to solve for time. Dilber is able to rock away Rice. And this disaster of a mid-ground for Gateway will force them ever further away. And PIEA now on the thing trying to stay alive for a moment, but your time is winding down very, very low. Albert Gallatin at the final checkpoint might have stopped Gateway in the best way possible. In comes that TP Rice and Crisis swapping over. I have Agamotto though to slam down two. And that is the spy that turns it on its head. Rice Crisis TP'd everyone into the wrong spots. And it will be Albert Gallatin to take out the stragglers at the end. This defensive position looked dire in more ways than one. But they have done it. They have held off at an OT. Albert Gallatin will make Gateway stay at 2.5 points.
I was just keeping an eye on those ults, and you saw the Gambit ult just barely getting farmed up, and you had time to use it, but they just didn't, and they ended up falling a little bit short. The Eye of Agamotto comes in and wipes the team, so maybe a lost opportunity there, but at the same time, maybe they were looking for that perfect moment, and it just never came. Either way, now chances to swap up the comps if you do so wish. Gateway looks like they're going to opt for something similar, if not the same. Just Athea now on the thing. And here's the thing with that comp is it's going to be a little bit vulnerable when it comes to poke damage from a far range, and hence why Elsa Bloodstone will remain on the table.
Yeah, I think for Dilber, this is a very solid pick. We've seen a massive improvement in the damage output. And for Zoltran, though, dancing in the same. Okay, what about this swap, though, Ari? Zoltran has been on the Black Panther for a majority share of the defensive end, now on the attack, swapping over, and we have another swap as well. Rice now moving over into the defensive position on the Vanguard and leaving Rai on the Punisher?
Astral projection makes me feel.
I mean, I think Rai was the official hit scan player of the team is what I want to go for, because they did play Hella on that first map. So again, might have been just a bit of funsies on that defensive side, or I guess the attacking side for them. Now they're going to kind of lock back into these normal roles. Athea back on support. I believe Fizzy was on Vanguard again in that first map. So just kind of getting things back going that way. Yeah, Fizzy was on the Angela. So I'm thinking these are kind of lock-in moments. Hey, guys, let's make sure we can hold this win through. And Albert Gallatin, I mean, they do have a lifeline, so don't count them out.
I would agree with that one. Let's see how well they can strike and attack. Held them off from 3 points. Still a far ways to go. Real Pup, though, sending some messages along with Crisis, who is a Dr. Strange. Giving him a blow for blow. The Real Pup has been a very solid foundation for DPS as well, especially when Rai goes down like that one. Dilber touched right now in the back lines, though, and Albert Gallatin way to push a little bit further. Fizzy, though, with great knock on to Cool Asian Man. Another strategist down. Albert Gallatin got to play a little bit safe with Moonlight infantry tag. Zoltran on the Spider-Man now as well. Web-seeing their way around and a little bit worried about where they're going to go. It's a chase and a half as Zoltran swings straight to the back line. Are you going to find anyone? It's going to be the Gambit out in the open, but Zoltran barely does anything. Is unable to really get any meaningful damage and is taken out in the mid-swing. A quick devour comes out, but Colonials loses their life instead. Rice Crisis was not going to get stopped by the same ult twice.
Oh, this is just a Punisher turret in the like wide open frontline choke, and it finds so much value because again, you're so focused on whatever melee hero might be in front of you, whether it's a Magneto or something like that, the Doctor Strange, and then of course the Punisher just takes you down with so much of that suppressing fire. You can barely keep those shields up. You have to burn those cooldowns, and Gateway doing a great job of managing their cooldowns in a way that is just, I don't want to say superior to Albert Gallatin, but certainly has put them in a great spot so far.
Yep, it's been amazing for Gateway. They're sitting on 5 ults, make it 6 as Rai takes over to 99, 100. And a Real Pup just going, guys, all I need is that chokehold. They're going to go ahead and possibly look at sending it down. Do they need to? There are the hands. Slams on for a moment. Forces the rest of Albert Gallatin to stay away. Dilber forces the ult as well. But that's a slaughter back. Dilber sets it up. And Zoltran slams them down. Gateway out of nowhere get popped on the back end. And Albert Gallatin have free space to push.
Well, I know I said earlier, Athea might be one of those key players to watch, but as the game starts going on, I think Dilber, we're saying their name more and more. They're always opening these fights with a pick when they have that space, or even if only one pick in the fight even happens for Albert Gallatin, it's usually Dilber. So keep your eyes peeled there because that ult was massive, that combo with Ultran was really, really good as well. And now you start to wonder, hold up, have Gateway got a little bit more work on their hands than they expected? I mean, obviously, we know that they cannot be counted out, but now, what's your response going to be to these big team combo plays from Albert Gallatin that we just haven't seen anything really back from yet?
I really don't know. Gateway may be struggling with that number themselves as Ultron is starting to find way more space. They swap back to the Black Panther and are looking like a menace all the way through. That's a snipe of 3. Make it possibly a 4th as Dilbert sneaks that one away. The DPS from Albert Gallatin are looking so much better on this attack.
What can I say? The pirate ship steering wheel leads the team to victory. I mean, right now.
Not wrong, but
like,
I hate admitting it, okay?
Yeah, it's just so good, what we've been seeing from them. Eye of Agamotto is going to come out right now, but as well, Luna Snow ultimate right back in response. Yeah, it's just not going to really find too much because of the ults that are being thrown in the mix. Who's going to come out on top? Because again, so tough to tell. The HP bars seem to be low sometimes, but you just never know. Half the other times, that will be that first big pick though, when Gateway still have to be feeling the pressure. One back though, 5v5, ults back, and Dilber. Who else but Dilber? It's always when you think they can't go down, and then they pull it out of absolute nowhere.
I'm amazed we didn't see this hero before. Dilber is playing on such an exceptional level, and it creates so much space for Zoltron. Just free fire on their own. And it's amazing. I have to give them credit. Albert Gallatin, they were holding on to this mark for a very long time, and Gateway have no real response. We were talking about those specific bans to come out, right? You know, what do you focus on? I think it's also Bloodstone is going to be a major ban going into map 3 if we reach it. Right now, that is another minute and a half burned off, so I will give Gateway a lot of credit. They were able to divest and force a hold here with what? Maybe 5 meters left. Very well done by Gateway's end. They're losing members, but it's at a staggered rate that they force almost a full 2 minutes gone, so it's only 3 minutes left for Albert Gallatin to reach all the way to the end. But for Gateway, it's do or die time right now.
I'm just worried because I'm seeing the 2 ults that are coming online for Albert Gallatin. It's the one of the boss from the Black Panther, but as well the Eye of Agamotto. And you can choose to use those together, which would most definitely be a team wipe and a fight win, unless a magical support ult can somehow heal people through it. Or you have one and then the other in 2 different fights, which should give you the upper hand, and both of your team can follow up on it. So I'm thinking Gateway, they need to formulate a plan now, because if they're playing reactive, they're going to be in a world of hurt.
And I think for Albert Gallatin, they are bringing the hurt in more ways than one. Namor, though, sectioning out Right's Crisis with an Eye of Agamotto, creates a little bit more space, but it only catches 1. They get space for 2 more deaths. Albert Gallatin not aware of that one. They will lose their standing on this point. Good hold, minute left, or a minute gone, I should say. Snap away a few more of the deaths as Dilber is ready to dance around, but this time around you have no safety. So the entirety of Gateway is able to lock your HP away.
I believe we saw, yeah, the Elsa Bloodstone ult coming through. I mean, Gateway, they used the Rice Crisis, Eye of Agamotto, and I really like the swap from Fizzy onto the Namor because that is playing anti-dive thing as well. Can't really get CC'd around, so this is a really good comp for what is being thrown at them from Albert Gallatin. It's now for Albert Gallatin to react in a way that Gateway won't expect, using this comp that maybe is getting a little bit more hard counter than they were expecting previously.
True, but there it comes. Cool Asian. Cool Asian gonna go ahead and get that field down, but Colonials is also going to fall. Tried to get the devour, but it didn't work. Eye of Agamotto sent back by Spy. This is desperation at the end, but Gateway rebuttals so well. Athea with the song and dance keeps the concert going. And I don't think Albert Gallatin had a single way to stop it. They tried to unplug the microphone, but it did not work. They tried to break the speakers. It did not work. Gateway, hold on with just a single ultimate. And Albert Gallatin are left wanting. 45 seconds. All he's got is Tweak. Tweak with the Rogue ultimate might be able to make a little bit of space for themselves. But they need Zoltron to make a mark. They need Dilber to make a mark, and they aren't going to find it. Zoltron goes down. The real pup with a beautiful pick. Iabago back. That's Rise Crisis solos out the rest. Tweak is able to drop an ult as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough. You're running around. You're hoping to zone him out, but Rai on that Mr. Fantastic keeps you cut off, and Albert Gallatin just do not have a lot left in the tank. A quick devour once more by Colonials will not find. Well, actually found 3. Are you able to catch some more? You're able to run away. Maybe this is it.
I mean, they're all relatively low in that back line, so yeah.
Oh my
Zoltron spawns in from absolute oblivion, changes from one dive character to the other. Black Panther now to Wolverine. And yeah, PIEA had the most impactful Luna Snow ultimate we've ever seen in a game before, and that's saying something, but now they have a chance to make it one more. Hard reset should come on through for Gateway, but you need to take this engagement on the right time, and Albert Gallatin, well, if they push the advantage, you might be in trouble there too. So we'll see how they can approach this fight, but it is going to be that teleport in, and Iabago jumps on out. It's supposed to be a little bit defensive from that teleport, but it doesn't catch on to anybody.
It really does not, and Real Pop gonna say this is the end. Slam of 2, Rai with one as well. 3 gone, make it 4, Tweak bye-bye, Dilber and Spy. Watch as the Gambit sends the ult flying, and it will be the final defenders to fall in what was a very narrow map number 2. Gateway will take the series 2-0.
And of course, we always talk about, oh, sometimes the score lines do not reflect how close the battles were. I think that second map definitely tells a different story. The first one, okay, maybe a little bit of a walkover for Gateway, but then that second one, oh boy, we got plenty of highlights from that. High intense, high impact moments half the time, and it was just, ooh, if they only had one more ult go this way, or one pick, or one team fight, coulda, shoulda, woulda, Albert Gallatin would be going to map 3, but man, congrats to both teams. That was a hard-fought one, and I honestly am very entertained and hope the viewers are as well.
It was an extremely fun one. I really am happy seeing that bounce back, and we saw a small inkling of what Albert Gallatin can do. Remember, this is at the start of the season. I think they have maybe 3 or 4 more weeks to play, so they got a little bit of time. If they're able to shore up that Dilber style of constantly having that Elsa Bloodstone in the ranks, if you're able to kind of flesh out that style with Zoltron on the Black Panther, that could be a massive deal breaker against anyone else. You can crush opponents with that level of composition. So we'll see if they're able to kind of get it going for themselves. But all right, I love the matchup. Gateway, though, I got to ask you, is there one player that stood out in your mind for the team, or was it pretty much a whole team effort to cross that finish line?
I mean, like we said, the Luna Snow ultimates from PIEA were crazy. I mean, the thing had some really impactful frags. The Strange held the tempo down. I think that is just a well-oiled team machine. If one of those pieces kind of goes a little bit awry, then you saw maybe one of those fights going the other way. But I think the team as a unit really, really solid. I think to me, the thing that you should be taking away from Gateway is not only that they can be successful, it's about the ways that they can prove that success is happening. Whether it is that range tempo comp or the melee brawl comp, you gotta keep your eyes peeled. And any team that goes up against them, you might want to worry or practice a bit harder if you got them as your opponent next week.
100%. Well, right now, we'll also see some teams battle it out to see who their next week opponent will be at the same time. We have another series coming up very shortly, which is Carlisle versus Elizabethtown area. 2 teams that will be duking it out in just a few minutes. For your pleasure. 1 series down, 0-2. Second series down, maybe a 3-game series. We'll see how it goes. Don't go anywhere. The PIEA 01 stream will continue in just a bit.
The neon lights flicker and the crowd's on the brink. Fortunes are won, lost in the time that we blink. Gotta take a shot, no room for regret. Living on the edge, ain't done with it yet. Get it, come get it if you think you can. Break through the noise like a madman. There's a fire burning deep in the night. Get it, come get it if you've got the night. The moment is now. With a heart full of thunder, don't ask why or how. In the ruins of glory, find your ticket to ride. It's a roller coaster, baby. Buckle up for the ride. Get it, come get it if you think you can. Break through the noise like a madman. There's a fire burning deep in the night. Get it, come get it if you've got the night. legend. 우리가 해냈다고 다 고개를 끄덕일 수 있게. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 그때까지 나랑 같이 갈래. 손을 잡아줘. Sometimes I don't know what to do. Am I doing it right? 마냥 나이만 먹어가는 걸까? 다 잘하는 사람이 되고 싶어. 똑같이 하는 건 재미가 없잖아. 아무것도 아닌 나에게 누가 말해줬지. 진짜 원하면 언젠간 되지. 말만 잘하는 사람이 되기 싫어. 진짜 잘해. 이젠 나도 할래. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 우리가 해냈다고 다 고개를 끄덕일 수 있게. Gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 그때까지 나랑 같이 갈래. 손을 잡아줘. 믿어볼래. 이젠 해낼 수 있어. 믿어볼래. 이젠 해낼 수 있어. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 우리가 해냈다고 다 고개를 끄덕일 수 있게. I'm gonna be a legend. We're gonna be a legend. 그때까지 나랑 같이 갈래. 손을 잡아줘. You talk loud, but you don't say much. You call shots, then you flinch at the touch. I went quiet, you thought that you'd won. Funny thing, game's already done. You, they don't shut me up. Silence still cuts deep enough. You can turn me down, but I still get louder. You, they don't shut me up. Every scar is proof I stuck. You can take your bow. I'm the hidden winner. In it for the background. In it for the background. You need crowds just to feel that high. I need breath just to choose my side. I lost you, but I found my skin. Say I'm gone, watch me still get in. You, they don't shut me up. Silence still cuts deep enough. You can turn me down, but I still get louder. You, they don't shut me up. Every scar is proof I stuck. You can take your bow. I'm the hidden winner. In it, in the background. Winner in the background. Say what you want, I heard it all. You raise your voice, I raise the bar. You dim my light, I learned to glow. I learned to glow in the dark. Winner in the background. Lose it, don't shut me up. Silence still cuts deep enough. You can turn me down, but I still get louder. Lose it, don't shut me up. Every scar is proof I stuck. You can take your bow. I'm the quiet sinner. Still the final winner. Winner in the background.
Dreams collide in sleepless nights. Stars explode through blinding lights. Victories found in the fight. I'm on top, my soul ignites. Life's a game, we learn the rules. Twist and turn like misfit fools. Through the pain we break the chains. Find the win through loss and gains. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Castles built on hope's foundation. Rivers run with pure elation. Through the storm I'll find my way. Triumph shines like break of day. Tides may turn but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings. Tides may turn, but I remain. Steady, strong, won't yield to pain. In the end, the truth will show. Strength and heart, the seeds we sow. I've got a heart that's never quitting. In this race, I'm always sprinting. Feel the power, victory sings. Born to conquer, spread my wings.
Welcome back, everyone. We're set for round number 2, or series number 2 of the day. We are headed over to Carlisle versus Elizabethtown area here with PIEA State Esports Championship. Of course, we are in the regular season. We're hoping these teams can give us a good show. We're once again powered by the esports company. Big shout out to them for making this possible. Taking a look at these teams here, Ari, this is going to be quite curious. Again, we got the same maps, no big change there, so Royal Palace once more. However, this does feel like it's going to be a little bit more one-sided than the previous series that we saw.
You say that, and other people will say that, but I haven't seen either of these teams play enough to make an opinion for myself. So I'm going to say that this could be a very close map. We don't know for the most part. I mean, the records are 1-0 for Carlisle, 0-1 for Elizabeth area school. So there really is not too much that separates these teams. Now, can they put us in a situation where maybe it's a little bit more one-sided? Yes, but I'm going to let some hopium kind of come into this world, and as these bands start off, right, everything seems normal. Well, it's a Cloak and Dagger band, it's an Elsa Bloodstone band, it feels normal, shall we say.
Yep, very, very comfortable in there. Very simple with the ban, and I do realize that the Elsa Bloodstone is very powerful, very annoying. Makes sense, don't want to play that one. The thing, though, is being saved here, which is a little bit surprising. I feel like out of the frontline Vanguard, Thing has very niche spaces that you're going to be working with, and the fact that you want to save that shows that you might be running a 1-2-3. At the same time, we're seeing what looks to be a 3-2-1 positioning with the Doctor Strange, the Thing, and the Mr. Fantastic. So I am kind of curious to see what they opt for, as that is a Deadpool saved for Lobby Room.
Yeah, that's a Deadpool support save, by the way. I'm not
I like how you have to save one or the other, which is surprising.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can ban some of the other ones, too.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
My worry is that usually when Deadpool is played, it's usually on the Vanguard. So I'm interested to see what's going on here. Sneeze. Oh, I've been waiting to get that one out for like 10 minutes. But yeah, it's just with the double hover of Deadpool here, with both the strategist and the duelist, or sorry, the strategist and the Vanguard, it makes me almost curious on who's going to play the character, if there's going to be a tiny little infight real quick on who gets to play the character. But actually, no save. No save coming out. You know
I
what?
think
They're
were
ballers.
deciding.
They're
Yeah,
ballers.
they were deciding and they kind of forgot. I wonder if we're going to get a gentlemanly no save here either. Nope, absolutely not. Saying, you missed it, your fault, that's on you.
All right, final bans. I'm going to guess Gambit and Invis Woman. Those are my two guesses. Because we only have, what, one? Okay, well, that one works too. But I think there's only one strategist band here, so it would make sense to see another. Okay. Black Panther! They were watching last series, apparently, and they saw Black Panther doing a lot of heavy lifting. They said, okay, let's make sure that doesn't happen in our game.
I like that Acromas is even also like, interesting.
Very, very
This
interesting.
is interesting. Everyone's getting in on the action here. We are going to see exactly what is selected. Obviously, Acromas is allowed to play that support Deadpool if they wish, but they're swapping over to the Gambit. We have eyes on the setup. Pretty much nothing changed from Elizabethtown area. They're still rocking with that kind of trip frontline, allowing Amethyst to run that Star-Lord, which is a little bit surprising in my eyes. We'll see if that works out to their favor.
In terms of players to look out for, we said this last time and it changed, so take it with a grain of salt. But Acromas is one of those names that we have gotten very familiar with out here at the PIEA. As the other side, I know the captain is Wildlife for the other team, so maybe that could be somebody you're looking out for as well. But any one of these players obviously having a chance to do whatever they would like. This battlefield is their oyster of freedom, and now it's only a matter of seconds before we see how they stack up against each other.
Yep, time is of the essence, though, as we get a quick push out onto the battlefield. It will once again be the Palace to stage an uprising or to claim the throne, one or the other. Quick through the portal we go, and it's a hard jump in of the town area, using that Doctor Strange to start things off strong. Will it be enough, though? to get that coverage, a little bit of backline access. And the backline, Jeff, might not be long for this world. I don't know why you want to stay there, but you successfully drove away Dr. Strange, which creates a lot of space for Carlisle to break their way on to the stage. Shot number 1, 2, 3 is able to lap away one more kill. And it will be Elizabethtown area that lose control of the point.
Deadpool already has ult, by the way. Did you notice that?
Welcome to Deadpool.
I mean, Acromis also with 70%. Inviswoman on the other side with 76. So you're getting up there. I think Deadpool ult is a little bit different because of the upgrades. That's kind of how the character works. But also at the same time, plenty of different ways to play the character that you just don't know what exactly you want to go for. That level up should be coming in soon, though. And as for Silence, well, they're getting in there like swimwear. They found somebody maybe a bit too overextended, and they'll get at least the first pick for themselves. Second player, though, gets on out, and Lavi finds a headshot on a Commander Wolf.
Well, right now, Silence is able to answer back, and it already looks like we're getting a little bit of a tense battle here. Elizabethtown taken by surprise. They're ready to answer back. Laveroon, though, says, I might not just be a defender, I will be the attacker as well. Duelists it up. Swings for the fences, and Chromas follows suit. Carlisle with a beautiful defense.
Little emote in the picture, too. May as well go for it. And it's, wow, I'm just looking at this Deadpool kit, by the way, like in the bottom right, and just seeing how many different buttons and logos there are, and it's like, okay, might be a tough character to play with. But Laveroon, we talked about how they had saved the strategist form. Well, they're on the Vanguard form, so a little bit of distraction and maybe a way to push them off of what exactly your team comp's going to look like in the end.
Well, that was a great lock, though. With that swap out, we are seeing Laveroon be a little bit more frontline, which leaves backline a little bit more exposed. Plant shot, though, you're in trouble as you're ready to go down. Amethyst is trying their best to fly, and is using that ult to perfection. What an annihilation of 4! I wasn't expecting to go that easily, but Carlisle wiped from the map, and it will be a turnaround for Elizabethtown area as they stop Carlisle's point take 88%.
Hey, we've seen this kind of similar thing before. It was last series, not last map, but last series where we saw almost similar percentage, around 80, and then there was one fight won by the opponent. However, the team did have enough stacked up ults to kind of just go in and take the fight back, which is similar to what you're seeing here. 4 ults for Carlisle. They're going to burn the first one off the rip. Let's see how much value that one goes, as of course there is a fight happening in the back lines, but it looks like finally the value comes through. 1 for 1, though, as the Gambit gets taken out. Pulse is going to be completely dissipated. That one taken out. The Iron Man not going to be able to use theirs, and a very good response back the other way. Can the Jeff get the value they're looking for? Launches the teammates back in. No enemies, though.
Looks like it will be just a play and a half as Silence takes out Splad, who said, okay, I used the ult, didn't really get anything. Silence, though, stepping up here, does have the Eye of Agamotto ready to go in case the battle breaks out. If they are able to use it to slow everything down, though, that would be huge. Carlisle need to find a rebuttal as step up and forward. Deadpool rounding around the corners. Laveroon sends it to the forefront, sends out a couple memes, bonks on the head, says, you're live, baby. Better show us what you can do. Laveroon isn't able to get too much, but is able to create a little bit more space for the team. Black is sitting on the waypoint. Moon Knight ready to go. Chromas sends it high, sends out the ult, and says, guys, get in there. Let's bring the fight in. It will be the Invisible Woman slowing everything down, but Silence locks away the opponents. Says no dice whatsoever. Holds you to Elizabethtown area, win their fight once more, and take over point control 89%.
I would like to speak with whoever said this was going to be maybe a heavier one-sided matchup, because at least in this first sub-map, we're getting pretty good competition right now. This could be even a full, almost reverse sweep of the map, but oh, that's 3 straight picks. Where did Ryuk even come from with those? I mean, that's a Venom. I barely even saw the Venom this entire time. They farm it up, though, and the picks all go their way, along with a Scarlet Witch, which was a new swap on over, and that might just be this sub-map. Of course, 2 ults, maybe a touch coming through, but it's going to be a big stretch.
I think the stretch will be pretty tough as well. Black hiding out in the chandelier, and there is nothing there. Well played by Carlisle. Last second capture, 99 to 100. I love every single moment that we're getting so far, Ari. I can only expect the second round to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely love that we're seeing this high quality competition right now. However, that submap that we just recently saw is the one that people would kind of think of when you choose this map of Palace. That's the one that most players are familiar with. The fights are kind of straightened out for you. You go through those main two chokes. So you got some players on the flank or on that side angle, but other than that, the brunt of the battle is going to happen on that dish of a point. Here, though, there is a lot more opportunity for flyers, flankers to get a lot more value, and so because of that, maybe you do see these swaps coming on up. Golden Sun sticking with that Scarlet Witch, I think, is going to be the right play because of how versatile that character really is. Is it a one-shot kill? No. Is it going to be a whole team wipe right off the rip? Probably not. But they do have that very good 1v1 potential, and honestly, makes sense that Carlisle have some more tricks up their sleeve.
Once again, they're trying this out. Dino ready with the ult to play, and it looks like Elizabethtown area are going to slam on into the point as hard as possible. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but they're going to give it their best angle, and they are going to free fire in. Carlisle taking a little bit of back, but Splad was ready with the Devour.
Whoa.
It takes out 4. What an answer from Splad, as that is Carlisle to fully rout Elizabethtown area.
Acromus, I think, used that Gambit ult as well, but just got it canceled by the Jeff, so at least they will get that 50% back, but unfortunately, back the other way. Oh no, sorry, that was a misread. Dino was the one that used it on Elizabethtown area side and did not get it back, so big as that ult not only cancels out the teleport, but also another ult on top of it, and the team fight win, and percentages. I mean, that's how you want to start off one of these sub-maps.
I mean, chaotic to say the least, but you knew that Carlisle had a good idea about it. However, Elizabethtown area is saying you got more to play with as well. Takes out 2, but it's answered back by Carlisle. This Gambit's on either side doing work. Lavaroon still in that full-on Vanguard action is showing that they can play DPS just as well. Ryu gonna slam on down with that Hulk in. I wasn't expecting the Hulk to come out either, but doing a massive amount of work. Silence trying to bottleneck this Hulk figure in front, but it's not really working as Elizabethtown area still trying to find their way onto the point. Just haven't really found that space yet. Poor Hulk, though, taken out a big form. Will be taken down to Baby Hulk, and you are gone.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of an overextension there. I mean, they did use the ult to maybe burn some more time, grant themselves a little bit more HP, but at the end of the day, that value is probably not going to make up for using that ult in a big team fight where you can hold your own and stall a little bit longer. However, that is if we even get to the point, as it will be a very early engage. CDA Black will at least get one. Scarlet Witch with another one as well. That's Golden Sun going to be burning them on down. And the Invis ult, well, the barrier comes up. But it seems like their player's still falling on down.
For Lavaroon and Ryu, it's all about that space being taken. Carlisle fighting hard, and this looks like a squad that knows what they need. Splad setting the momentum shift for themselves, and it feels like Elizabethtown area never fully recovered. From a 99 to 100 to a 100 to 0 shift is Carlisle to take map number 1.
Again, I would like to speak with the people that said this game would be a little bit more one-sided. I now see your point. I understand what is happening. But, of course, that is only map number 1. Of course, Carlisle did end up taking it a little bit more dominant in the end there, maybe feeling out in sub-map number 1. But I'm still not going to count Elizabethtown area out because we saw what map 2 looked like last time. Maybe a little bit of deja vu happening here. Either way, a solid map 1, right? We saw what Carlisle's game plan was. It was very strong. It was initiating early and not letting that defense get set. But if Elizabethtown area can realize what's going on, adjust their comp accordingly, and then play as a team a little bit stronger, you're going to see them having this right tied up and even mojo.
Yep. And I have to give credit. Amethyst and Silence both doing quite well in the numbers department. 15-7-0. Amethyst, I think, back in submap 1 had gotten a 4-kill succession with the ultimate, was doing quite well for themselves. Looking forward to map number 2, I am curious what we are going to get. We saw a lot of shifts coming out here, but Gambit, I think, was a high priority for both squads here. Gambit being able to buff up a teammate, obviously, with the ultimate if they wish, and then giving that exemplary action. But do we see a Gambit ban on either end for map 2?
Well, I think if anything, it's going to be on the side of Elizabethtown area, right? Because Carlisle, they are happy to play this Gambit Mirror, as it seemed to work out for them in this case. They found the value for themselves on the other side, right? If you're saying, okay, we were losing that Gambit battle, maybe we do ban it, try and go to a Luna Snow Mirror, something like that, where it's a little bit easier to manage, and it's just about using that ult at the key critical times that will help you win these fights. Either way, big read coming out, right? We saw from the Jet ultimate to start off that submap too. I mean, beautiful, cancels ultimates, the TP, we talked about it, but now going into the second one, you mentioned it before, domination, a little bit easier to take those one-on-one fights. Everyone's through the same choke. On a push and pull style, escort style map of Convoy, you're gonna start having a bit more angles to worry about and fights to deal with.
Yeah, and for Yggdrasil, I will never be able to say that. I've tried so many times. For the Pathway 3, yeah, I'm no. We are we are looking forward to the Convoy side. This is a little bit more open territory as well. Now the big question is, we did see the Elsa get banned out in map 1 as well, so I'm curious if we're gonna get a ban out in map 2 here. We saw the previous series, of course, but different players, different ideas. Do we get to see some of these power points going forward? And again, I know we went through the multiples, you know, talking about the Gambit Mirror. If you feel like you lost out on that vein, then yes, you got to ban it out. But at the current moment, Elizabethtown area will be starting out on the defense, Carlisle on the offense. It will be an attempt and a half. Same bans though, but this time Elizabethtown area banning out the Jeff very quickly.
Oh, I realized. Okay, yeah, it was a Carlisle that played the Jet Splat earlier, and it looks like from what they're hovering that they're planning to go on Vanguard here. As for the Elsa Bloodstone insta-ban, by the way, there's no reason for them not to ban that character. Adding a different variable, creating an environment where Elizabethtown now have an unknown to kind of push the advantage, you don't want to happen. So just go what you're comfortable with, saving the Vanguard the Vanguard Deadpool this time instead of the support. There we go, we're on the right track this time. I'm thinking that everything's again gonna add up. Maybe you see a strategist ban and then some form of Gambit ban from Elizabethtown, with that save being, I'm gonna guess, Invis Woman.
We get a little spice of life here.
I believe he means Spidey Life.
Okay. Listen. The only thing that I'm going to be wondering about for a little bit of sweat is the possibility of another rare crosshair that we get to see one more time.
Oh,
God, that was fun. Amethyst, being able to save that Star-Lord once more. It was very powerful for themselves, but will it
that
work
makes sense.
in their favor once more? There's an Ultron save as well. Interesting shifts all the way around.
And then the ban's gonna be on, what's my guess? I'll go Rogue. I'll gamble Rogue, because honestly I don't know anymore. Oh, they go for the Gambit ban? Really? Because if anything, right, we were talking about how they were the ones that felt stronger with that Gambit. Of course, they can obviously use Gambit still themselves, because that's how these pick and bans work, but wow, interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe just giving a little bit more respect over to Elizabethtown area, saying, hey, you play the Gambit well, and it can be a pain in the backside either way, as Plant Shotter will also be aiming for that Vanguard action, whether it be the Deadpool or the Thing. Amethyst, though, swapping off after we did see that save of the Star-Lord. You're now swapping to the Hela side, and then matching pace with the Bucky Barnes, with that Winter Soldier. Very much looking for high impact frags as soon as possible and putting Carlisle into a difficult state that way.
If Golden Sun manages to last more than a minute on this Iron Man against an Adam Warlock, a Bucky Barnes, and a Hela,
Yeah.
I am going to change my crosshair to a certain pirate ship. It's not gonna happen. Like, there should be that insta swap when you see what you're up against. Maybe you play a life, maybe you farm up an ultimate quickly, but maybe it's also just to get up in that high part of the spawn room and see what's going on. I do think they are going to stick with it for the first moment, but Carlisle, best of luck playing into that, because that's a lot of spam damage. So Elizabethtown area, they have their identity set for what comp they want to run. Now it's about, can they execute it correctly?
Not just that, having Ryuk on the other side with the Ultron, you can do a lot of work with this team-up style. will work in your favor, though, is a whole different question. So far, Golden Sun is actually doing quite well. Almost got the first one, and Ryuk steals away on Amethyst. Knocked down to the ground as Golden Sun as we watch us trail through, but it really does feel like Carlisle aren't having too many issues. Black able to follow up as well. And this duelist setup is holding steady, gaining ground for Lavaroon on this Vanguard Deadpool to go him. In the front line, it's already looking like a straight shot push for Carlisle's end.
I was just worried at the fact that Amethyst is only at 20% on the ultimate. Bucky Barnes was, I think, again, only at 20% until very just recently when they got one more fight in them. But I'm like, is it just a mechanical problem, dare I say? I don't want to say problem, but maybe just things that you're not quite focusing on, right? You have some people looking up the air, not being able to farm up their ult because the rest of the team's focusing on what's happening on the ground, things like that. But invisible barriers will create a Venn diagram on this point, and now who can last longer within these giant bubbles of healing? Looks like it's going to be Carlisle.
I think for Carlisle, it ain't nothing but a thing. Another day at the office, but Silence and Dino are able to answer back a little bit. Dino with the revive, making that one kill kind of useless, but there it is. Splat on that Doctor Strange, making it easy. And Golden Sun power raying Dino into oblivion. This cart hasn't stopped at all. It feels like as checkpoint 1 is reached.
Yeah, you did see one ult used by Ryuk there. Technically, Deadpool ultimate as well, and already farmed up to a second one. And Acromis, of course, using that invisible barrier just to stabilize, make sure they won that previous fight and get across the checkpoint. That's one of the fastest farming ults, so reasonably so. But talk about just pure pressure that's coming through. Elizabethtown area are just feeling the entire brunt of it and have not been able to set their feet in stone yet.
Easy work there as the Golden Sun comes out with the explosion of a lifetime, sets it up behind the Eye of Agamotto. A little bit disjointed, but it works wonders either way, and the damage is irrefutable.
I guess this is what I get for doubting a Lord Iron Man in this day and age.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, like, that's you know, we take it for what it is, though. I would have doubted too, I think. At the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie, I would have doubted as well. We are looking at Silence able to fight off Lavaroon for a moment, but Black says Golden Sun is not the only duelist that you have to worry about. I am here as well. Golden Sun. Silence is silence, and Amethyst trying with this Punisher and barely getting any action. Now, but Dino, what a revive on 4, stalling out everything that was there, but immediately loses 3 more on the back end. Black was ready watching those revives come through, almost reminiscent of Splad with that Devour on the deck.
Yeah, just unfortunately, once you get that revive off, these players do need to take a second to heal up and or get their cooldown set, as they have not yet recharged just from dying. And then on top of that, you don't have any ults to really deal with afterwards. That's a little unfortunate stagger there for Commander Wolf, not being able to press the right buttons. Oh, another player also lagging behind there. It's going to be Dino, but Carlisle will have a nice fun stagger, and then we'll still go for this early engagement around the bend. This is where we saw the cart stop for both of our past 2 teams in the prior matchup.
It was this little corner pocket. As soon as it reached this check, it was very difficult to get through this right turn, but it looks like this might not be an issue here in their own. Akromas drops that invisible woman barrier, protecting the rest of the team, saying he got enough push to get through this corner, and allows Ryuk to fly on high with the ultimate. Wildlife able to lock them down, but Black used that time to mark 2 more. Golden Sun tries to fire, but the ult goes a little bit wide, but Elizabethtown area have already lost 3 members. Amethyst will go down to make it a 4th, and the staggered deaths are immense. Carlisle, with 3.5 minutes left, are looking destructive.
Bro's just hanging around with a shield, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. It's just not going to happen quite yet, but there are the Fists of Khonshu coming in from above. That one not going to find too much value, but of course still ults in the picture. Eye of Agamotto if needed, but those players very, very low, and I don't think they're going to be in that one for too much longer, as the Eye of Agamotto used for insurance. Final touches in the store, but as for that full hold, it may not be much more. Meters creeping on down, and there you have it. 3 minutes, 1 second left on the clock for Carlisle.
2, 3.
That's as clean as you can take it, right? Quite honestly, I don't think you can get better. What's like the max time you could have if you push with no stopping in between?
I think it's around 5.5, 5 minutes.
Really?
If you're straight nonstop, yeah.
Okay. They, I guess they were off a little bit of that chip, but still 3 minutes is wild to see at the end there. So still very comfortable either way. Even if you had a minute left, that would have been huge. Elizabethtown area going to try and do the same. Little bit of a stretch though, as you know, Mr. Fantastic. I always call Mr. Fantastic a Vanguard. Just feels so tanky, even though he's technically a duelist. You know, give it for what it is. We got a Phoenix coming out here though, checking up with the Flyers once more. Elizabethtown area trying to steal away Carlisle style.
I absolutely love Phoenix as a character in this game. Just the ability to provide splash damage at the same time as a hit scan priority is actually really, really nice. Now, the problem with that is you're not going to get a splash damage on somebody in the air because nobody else is going to be up in the air except for maybe that Ultron in the Carlisle side. So yes, I guess the best time you could use that aerial splash damage, but also great for taking down tanks that are trying to rush you close range. You have that flying ability to get out of dodge. If a melee character comes your way, plenty of different ways to kind of approach this, but you need to get that value out of the gate. Otherwise, you're going to be pinned in your own area and kind of struggling to get things going forward.
Right now, out comes the open. Elizabethtown area going to try their best. Plane shot is already down. Golden Sun on this lorded up Iron Man, looking like a monster untouched. Black able to do the exact same from far away, and Elizabethtown area completely suppressed here. At the end of the day, you can take a look at the HP bars. Carlisle untouched in the opening 30 seconds, and Elizabethtown area had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, that first fight obviously doesn't go the way you want it to, but at the same time, you are also kind of funneling out of this choke, and I do think they need that shield, which you are starting to see from Plant Shotter. The only problem is that it can't last for too long, and that splash damage too insane potentially for them to handle. We'll see one ult come out of the mix. It's Silence stunned up, but still alive, still room to work with, and Amethyst will go down for it. That ult starts to dissipate in E-Town area. Well, now they might just be stalled out and sent back to the drawing board once again.
And I think for Elizabethtown area, they're having to go to plan like D and E at this point because plans A, B, and C are not working for them. Carlisle shutting them down as Wildlife tries to get itself revive off, but you've already lost way too many members. Amethyst now on that Star-Lord. The Star-Lord needs space to fly, but the skies are shut down thanks to the Ultron and the Iron Man. Carlisle, 5 ultimates strong if they wish to make a statement.
Absolutely. I mean, just that time burning on down and their chances starting to dwindle, but of course still room to work with. Just give them one pick and maybe we'll start to see this convoy move, but no. Instead, just 2 more. That is going to be the legendary used on out, but the healing is just so nice from Carlisle. Amethyst falls down and no 4K for you. The player's not split enough. Those cooldowns not forced out. Instead, you'll just be hoping. Maximum Pulse returned back and they both miss. But at the end of the day, Carlisle still have this upper hand with this positioning. He had a Warlock ult maybe used in anticipation, but it's not going to find anyone because no one's gone down yet.
Nope, everyone's still up for the time being, but Ryu comes out with the fire, says, yo, I can shoot as well. Amethyst is able to shut down one, but the damage has already been used. Akromas does the exact same, brings Ryu back, says, nobody dies on my watch. Splatters a few more lives. Varun goes crazy in the back line. Elizabethtown area shoved straight back into spawn as the Hulk goes beast mode.
Ow. That's what I gotta say there. Ow. I mean, it's gotta hurt. It's gotta be a little bit demoralizing to, of course, get held for the majority in your spawn. But as long as they can just keep putting on some sort of effort, trying to make some either changes or just allowing for the mechanics to speak for themselves, you just gotta try your absolute best and hope to either overwhelm or form a play that works on out. Just the splash damage from Carlisle, though, may be too much to handle. As you see on the other side, it's just an Adam Warlock and a low piece. So yes, technically you have that healing potential, but it is more of a support strategist line if I've ever seen one. And the res will be there, a pick onto Acromis, but actually, wait, is this the round? Is this the fight that they actually gain the space? It looks like they've got around the first bend.
I mean, it is That's huge for them. Elizabethtown area digging in deep in the 11th hour. Wildfire able to draw out Splat as well. Carlisle taking a little bit aback with how quickly that was a shove. Elizabethtown area seems to have just caught him a little bit off guard. Black is going to hold off on the wings, but you're down to OT. For Elizabethtown area, you have to play the next few moments perfectly. No major ultimates are ready, but Black has that hand of Conchu, and they're going to send it down, but it hits on a weird spot. I don't think that's where they wanted it. Landed away from that cart. So that is a wasted ultimate. Acromas is able to bring back one or two. They will get back with a little bit of health. And will it be enough, though? Lavaroon down to about 20%. A bit more. Splat is gonna go Hulk mode, beast mode if you wish, and Ryu goes into the ultimate form as well. This combination has stalled out Elizabethtown area before, and it looks like they will do it once again. Silence and Commander are gone. Golden Sun rolls in with the lasers, and clap for your own victory, as that will be Carlisle to take the series.
Final score 0.
Wow.
2, 3.
I said ow the first time, now I can say wow. It is completed. You get to add the W onto the sentence. And man, Carlisle, when they got into that groove, when they were let free, they were just unstoppable, right?
Yep.
You let their plans keep on going, and you don't try and throw anything in the mix that really was too effective. I mean, you could have seen maybe a hard dive change, but I think Elizabethtown just kind of ran out of ideas, and well, maybe that hero pool is a factor, maybe just comfortability. Either way, Carlisle chalk it up as that 2-0 win. And after I would say a tense first sub-map, it was all one-sided from there.
Yeah, and Golden Sun, by the way, that score line, I mean, that is...
Criminal.
Yeah, 47-0 and 0, 21
Wait,
final
0?
hits.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. 0 deaths in there,
Wow.
untouched in the skies. And it just goes to show, I think you were, kind of mentioning for Elizabethtown area, was it comfortability? Was it the hero pool? I don't think it was either. I think it was Carlisle just playing an exceptional game at the end of the day. High-ranking players, everyone working in tandem with each other. Very, very powerful work. At the end of the day, Carlisle step away with the victory 2-0, same as we saw earlier on, as well with Gateway taking their victory in the Div 1 position. But for Ari, that was a lot of fun to watch either way, even though it was a bit one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We talked about that Iron Man trying to find value against those 3 hit scans, and it did so, to honor my promise. Don't worry, I got the crosshair out for us. We're doing a pirate ship.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really just a fun game. I mean, you got some inside jokes here or there. You got some moments to talk about when going on forward. But down the line, again, I said it for the prior matchup for the victors there. I'll say it here again. If you have Carlisle coming up on your schedule, you better practice hard. You better watch this game and learn what they do, because they are not stopping if you maybe throw a rock their way on a thing. You got to take a little bit more than that.
Yep, 100%. So we'll see if they can do so next week, though, because right now we are done on the day. 2 matches are done for the Marvel Rival side of the PIEA, and we had a blast casting both of them. Thanks again to the TEC, the eSport company, for giving us a chance to be on the mic. My name is Orbital. With me has been Ari on the production side, Echo_20. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. We'll catch you all in the next stream.
Okay. I love you, I do, I need you, I do, I love you, I do, I need you, I love you, I do, I need you, ooh, I love you, I do, need you, ooh, I love you, I do, need you, I do, I love you, I do, need you, I love you, I do, need you, ooh, I love you, I do, need you.
Running round like dollars in the wind, bending over backwards just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar.